Bree Turner going to get cut from the Indiana Fever.
The Indiana Fever front office
have just leaked their most recent roster change.
She vanished, just like that.
Dropping some Easter eggs.
Brianna Turner was pretty much taken off this event. This is the pose that kind of had everybody like, damn, she got cut. She got cut. Unfortunately, her name was taken off.
One moment, Brianna Turner was listed front and center for an Indiana Fever event, and the next, her name was scrubbed clean, replaced without explanation.
Bree Turner is replaced by Aari McDonald for a Fever meet and greet.
The Indiana Fever had this event coming up. Okay, they had Bree Turner, but now they changed it to Aari.
Fans caught it immediately, sparking a wave of speculation, whispers, and then a loud truth. The Indiana Fever have just made their most ruthless move yet. A major player is out, and this isn't just a shakeup. It's a signal.
Lexi Hull and Bree Turner. It says player subject to change.
A message sent not with words, but with action. And if you think this ends with Turner, think again. What's happening in Indiana is bigger than anyone expected. And Caitlin Clark might just be the one pulling the strings.
Caitlin Clark and the revolution in women's sports.
Caitlin Clark is the star player of the WNBA.
The most popular woman ever in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark.
It wasn't a press release. It wasn't a formal announcement. It was a quiet deletion, surgical, deliberate, and loud in its silence.
Brianna Turner was supposed to be at this appearance, and now she is not.
Brianna Turner, who had been listed to appear at a major Indiana Fever fan event alongside Lexi Hull, was suddenly, and without warning, removed.
If you're Bree Turner and you're looking at these comments in the Indiana Fever's official Twitter feed right now, you got to be going, wave me anyway.
This is the pose that kind of had everybody like, damn, she got cut. She got cut. She was supposed to be at this meet and greet. Unfortunately, her name was taken off.
One day, her name was right there on the promo flyer, and the next, she was replaced by Aari McDonald. No comment, no clarification. Just gone. But fans, they noticed immediately. The reaction online was instant.
Lexi Hull and Aari McDonald instead of Lexi Hull and Bree Turner. And there has been kind of a pattern going on.
Wait, wasn't it supposed to be Bree? One comment read. Another one didn't hold back. Thank you, Fever. Please tell me you finally did the right thing. Theories exploded across platforms. This wasn't some rescheduling error. This was a calculated move, and the message behind it couldn't have been clearer.
They finally figured out Bree brings something to the table. Kind of feel bad for Bree. Everyone waiting on news for her to be waived.
Getting rid of Brianna Turner. That is the right move to make.
Turner's time with the Fever was up. Behind the scenes, the switch from Turner to Aari wasn't just a simple lineup adjustment. That appearance was a $50,000 opportunity, a chance to connect with fans, push personal branding, and secure value both on and off the court.
Cut Brianna Turner, use that money to go out and get a big fish.
They do need to get rid of Turner because they need a dynamic wing.
Losing it meant more than missing a handshake. It meant losing trust, visibility, and a massive financial perk. Even worse, she didn't just vanish from the flyer, she vanished from the conversation. No social media tags, no team post, no acknowledgement.
It was supposed to be Bree. Is this happening soon?
It was as if the franchise hit delete and never looked back. And if that wasn't enough, her replacement, Aari McDonald, brings something Turner hasn't shown in weeks.
Now I gotta get fan favorite Aari McDonald. Someone who's a net positive, someone who when they get in the game is actually impactful.
Energy, confidence, and momentum. For Turner, the writing wasn't just on the wall, it was etched in capital letters. As the noise around Brianna Turner's disappearance from the event grew louder, fans began connecting the dots, and the picture wasn't pretty. This wasn't just about missing a meet and greet. Turner had been disappearing on the court long before she was pulled from that flyer.
Bree Turner only goes in during garbage minutes or at the very end when they switch out their rosters to the second, third stringers.
In recent games, her presence had become more symbolic than impactful. No energy, no urgency, just quiet, forgettable minutes in garbage time. And sometimes not even that.
It would be in their best interest to come up off of Bree Turner. Kayla Timpson is probably a better addition. I feel like she's more athletic, she's young.
When Turner did see the floor, it was usually in the dying moments of blowouts, alongside second and third string players, not to secure a win, not to turn the tide, but simply to fill a gap. The truth, her role had evaporated. And while she was fading out, young talents like Michaela Timpson were stepping in and stepping up.
We no longer need Bree Turner. We don't. I know so many of us, I've had conversations with people behind the scenes. Is Bree Turner off my team? Yes. We don't know that. We don't know that. Maybe they could use her back in Chicago.
Brianna Turner is still on this damn basketball team, guys.
Bree Turner finally off my team.
Timpson brought fire, movement, hustle, the kind of traits that win games and ignite momentum. She wasn't just playing better than Turner. She was making Turner look obsolete.
DeWanna Bonner turned out to be the disaster that many of us behind the scenes thought it might be.
DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard. Oh, DB is no longer with the team. That's 2 Flyers.
Then came the moment that changed everything. Caitlin Clark returned to full contact practice. After nearly 2 weeks away, nursing a quad injury, she came back.
Caitlin Clark is definitely on the floor. Let's check out.
And the shift was immediate. The locker room came alive. Energy surged.
Caitlin Clark is participating in 5-on-5 at practice.
And most importantly, the team's standards were raised. During an open practice, fans saw the difference firsthand. Clark was running the floor, calling plays, directing traffic like a seasoned pro.
Caitlin Clark is definitely back in practice, man. Brianna Turner definitely still on the team.
Caitlin Clark participates in 5-on-5 drills. 5-on-5 drills. Not dribble drills. 5-on-5 drills against real human beings.
The crowd erupted at her every move. And Turner? She was there but barely noticed. Her lack of involvement stood out like a sore thumb. The contrast between the two couldn't have been more stark. Clark wasn't just playing, she was leading.
All the fans want to be just like Caitlin.
She's the biggest draw by far this league has ever had. She has put this league on the national map in ways it's never been.
There is some version of animosity based upon the love that Caitlin Clark is receiving by everybody else.
Caitlin Clark is must-see TV.
Every possession that ran through her had purpose. Every pass had precision. Her teammates responded with energy. Turner, on the other hand, blended into the background. No highlights, no defense, no spark.
The Fever obviously have taken away their least popular player, Bree Turner.
Even her body language told the story, detached, uninspired, and out of sync with where the Fever were clearly heading. And fans weren't the only ones taking notice. Sports creators, analysts, and insiders began to say the quiet part out loud. Turner wasn't a fit. She didn't align with the new pace. She didn't fit the culture. Her play style wasn't just outdated, it was holding the team back.
She is not cut. Her name has been announced today in this open practice.
And in a league where every roster spot counts, Indiana couldn't afford to carry dead weight. Not anymore. Not with Caitlin Clark setting the tone. What looked like a quiet removal from a fan event was actually the first domino in a much larger game. The Indiana Fever weren't just trimming fat. They were positioning themselves for something bigger, something strategic. With the July 13th waiver deadline just days away, the front office was on the clock. And every move now had purpose. Cutting Brianna Turner wasn't just about her lack of production. It was about clearing space.
Wow. Brianna Turner is not cut. She's not cut. She's there. Everybody thought Brianna Turner was no longer on his damn team. She is very much still on his basketball team.
Creating flexibility and making room for a potential game changer. Enter Emma Miesemann, fresh off a Eurobasket championship with Belgium, and arguably the most skilled unsigned player in the world right now.
Letitia Amihir would be great though, because she has this crazy arm. She is a great rim protector.
Emma isn't just a fit, she's a solution. A stretch big who can pass, shoot, defend, and complement Aaliyah Boston perfectly.
Indiana needs somebody. Danta's return, too risky. Valkyries did end up keeping Letitia Emi here. It might be something that they're thinking of.
She's the type of player who doesn't just support Caitlin Clark, she elevates her. If Indiana is serious about a playoff push, this is the kind of acquisition that sends a message. We're not here to survive, we're here to win.
That are really concerned about that locker room. And they were concerned about Bree Turner entering that locker room from the moment that she was brought on board.
But it doesn't stop there. Another name gaining traction behind the scenes is Letitia Emi here, a young Canadian talent with insane wingspan, elite rebounding instincts, and enough upside to become a cornerstone in Indiana's future.
Expect a move from the Indiana Fever very soon.
Her rim protection alone is more valuable than anything Turner's brought to the floor all season. Add in her speed and athleticism, and she fits perfectly into a team that's suddenly younger, hungrier, and built for movement. That's why Turner had to go. She didn't fit the direction, she didn't fit the timeline, and in today's WNBA, you either adapt or you're replaced. The Fever have been scouting Europe quietly.
We need a 3-and-D forward, automatic catch and shoot from 3, aggressive off the dribble.
They've been patient during free agency, but now patience has a deadline, and the front office knows it. They aren't just looking for fill-ins, they're hunting impact. Every decision points to one truth: Caitlin Clark is the centerpiece.
The way she came into the WNBA, with all the hype, we hadn't seen this before.
Caitlin Clark is the one bringing all the media attention. Caitlin Clark is the one bringing all the young guys to the WNBA, people who are wanting to watch and tune into all these games.
And the Fever are finally acting like it. This isn't just a roster move, it's a culture reset. Indiana is no longer protecting veterans who don't produce. They're creating space for real contributors.
Ironic considering the waiver deadline is this Sunday.
The 13th is the last day that they can waive a Bree Turner, if that is going to be the case.
Misaman, Ami Harre, McDonald, Timson. These are names that build momentum. These are players who make Clark better. The game is shifting fast in Indiana. And Turner? She was never part of that new equation. So here we are. Whether the Indiana Fever have already cut Brianna Turner behind closed doors or are just waiting to make it official, the message is clear. The old way is over. This team isn't operating on potential anymore. They're operating on results. And if you can't keep up, you're out. Turner's removal isn't just about one player. It's a symbol of what the Fever are becoming. Faster, sharper, and built around Caitlin Clark.
She is by far the best player in the league. All the fans want to be just like Caitlin.
She's the biggest draw by far this league has ever had.
The days of sentiment are gone. Every roster spot is earned. Every minute on the floor has to matter. And with Caitlin now setting the pace, expect more changes. Because Indiana isn't just trying to compete anymore. They're aiming to dominate.
It's Brianna Turner finally hitting the curb.
If you believe this move was necessary, if you think the Fever are finally waking up, type 100% in the comments right now. Let your voice be heard because the revolution in Indiana, it's already begun.
Caitlin Clark is Indiana Fever's leading scorer at over 19 points a game.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like...
Cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.